at this point, it's also very, very important to explain what I've learned from my personal experience in the business and practice of mediation. When people ask me what they should do when it comes to setting up a practice in mediation, I tell them it's always best to have the three sharp edges of the same sword, if there is such a thing like that. The first is being a mediator, the second is being a mediation advocate, and the third is being a trainer. So that way you're going to strategically position yourself because you see, my own personal opinion, mediation is the future of dispute resolution. With COVID coming into play and all of that, times are changing. Now, I also hold this very strong conviction that the change we seek will not come from mediators, will not come from parties, will not come from mediators, will not come from lawyers, but will come from the parties, will come from the end users, will come from the clients. Because when clients come up with, when a client walks up to probably a lawyer and tells the lawyer, look, I have an issue with this person, but I want to continue doing business with him, but I also want this issue resolved. You can't suggest mediation. No, you can't suggest litigation. Or when a party comes to tell you that, okay, you know what, I have an issue with this person. Can we have this issue resolved within a week or two? What would you suggest? When you have issues where a party comes to tell you that I'm owing this commercial institution, but I really want to find a way of resolving this issue with this particular person. What do you suggest? So the change that we seek to see, I hold that strong conviction, will come from the parties. So which also brings me to a point I decided to hold in isolation: training. Training is a cash cow where mediation practice is concerned because people want to know about mediation. People want to have an understanding of how mediation works. Now, as you would notice, now if this were to be a paid training now, we know how much we're talking about. So by virtue of even being a mediator, and like I tried to explain earlier on, where you have to talk about mediation and all of that, it more or less makes you a trainer. It gives you certain qualities of a trainer. So which is why where training is involved, you have to invest in training. You have to develop the art of continuous learning. You take advantage of local training opportunities, and you also try to imbibe the culture of communicating with the intent of people comprehending. Now, because you see, the way mediation, the way the concept of communication is, sometimes people speak, they don't know whether the other party, whether people are actually comprehending what they're saying. Sometimes when people train on mediation, they train on mediation from a level of abstraction where people can't relate to mediation. And please, I need to remember that mediation is a way of life. It's what we practice day in, day out. The only difference where this is concerned, where the formal where the institutional mediation, as one of my mentors would like to call it, is out defined. Whatever it is, it will always be reduced into writing. But at the end of the day, it is a way of life. So when teaching mediation, teach mediation with the concept of making people understand. And you can only give value if you have value. Hence the reason why when teaching, why you have to equip yourself with the requisite knowledge. You read books, you talk about mediation, you eat, sleep, drink mediation. And the funny thing about it is that mastery really is repetition. When you talk about mediation, when you talk about something over and over and over again, you automatically become very, very good at it. Now, I will be looking at the concept of understanding your target audience. Now, vis-a-vis branding, marketing, and advertising. Now, remember when I was explaining to this, I alluded to the issue of communication and comprehension. You see, we have different types of generation name. We have the millennials, we have the Gen Zs, you have the Gen Alpha, and all of that. If if I'm thinking of teaching mediation to the younger ones, I won't go to Facebook. I'll go to Instagram. I'll go to LinkedIn. So it's very, very, very important when trying to market the business and practice of mediation to know the target audience you're talking about. Are you dealing with the millennials? Are you talking about the Gen Zs? Are you talking about the Gen Alpha? So where social media is involved, you need to have an idea of weight of the particular platform you are going to be speaking to. I'm going to talk about here. I'm going to go back to the next slide, but first of all, I'll have a look at this. Of course, when we look at the baby boomer generation, those are that born 1970s and all of that, a lot of them still use Facebook. Now, for the millennials like myself, I'm 40. A lot of us use Instagram, we use WhatsApp and all of that. So if I'm going to be communicating with people my age, I'll use a social media platform that I know a lot of them will be on. Then, of course, we have WhatsApp. We have the broadcast feature on WhatsApp. We have so many means. So it's really very, very important. You choose a social media platform you can
Thank you
communicate
very much.
with people with. Now, I'm going to go back to this, and there's a reason why I put this slide and I called it the new normal online dispute resolution. This is the future of justice right now. Now, we can see what happened with COVID. Now, where COVID, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I told him that COVID has changed the way and manner business is being done now. Now, I'm having a conversation with over 50 people from all around the world, from the comfort of my home. You all are in comfort of your homes, probably offices and all of that, listening to me. Just last year, COVID, for some of us, COVID was just a word in the dictionary. Sorry, Zoom was just a word in the dictionary. Now we all can sit down from the comfort of our homes and work. Now people can see that you don't need to go to the office Monday to Friday. And I must quickly add this, that you see, the concept of comfort is a multi-billion dollar industry. People want to stay, people can pay millions for comfort. So the fact that when a case comes up, you can stay at home and have the issue resolved from anywhere around the world, is making mediation a more preferable means of dispute resolution. I have a friend here. I don't know whether he's here. His name is Malcolm. Malcolm is into tech and all of that. So let's assume he has a business where he really lives home. He does his business online, and a dispute arises. Now he would feel more comfortable having that dispute resolved from the comfort of his home as opposed to having to go to court. So let's remember that this is going to be the new normal. We're going to be having more of disputes being resolved online.